I really hope you never trend in a way where I hope you never make an art piece like a video, or you hop on a trend and it pops off, you know? I hope you never gain thousands of subscribers who hang on to your every word, and I hope that your art never becomes recognized for it being a defining icon of your niche. I think that there's a sort of corruption that takes place personally when a lot of people see and put their own interpretations on what you do, because ultimately art is expression, you know. And I feel like, I made the other video the other day, and I was really surprised at the reception, and it wasn't all positive, it was negative too, but it was cool. It was cool to see all this different perspective and all these different journeys that people go through and the different concerns they have to pursue what they do. And I think that helps broaden my views on like how to connect with others and how to kind of talk about what art is and what it means for us, as creatives, that is. But one of the themes I feel like kept coming up was how the need for validation, right? I think as humans, we need to be validated, whether it be accomplishing a hard sport, whether it be achieving a specific grade and getting recognized for an award, or being part of like a niche group, whatever it is. I think that validation is really important and needed. But what's hard is that I think as creatives, we don't, while I think we desire validation for what we're doing, I don't think art in itself needs validation to be created. Like, I think for most of us, we kind of jump into it without necessarily expecting the most out of it, especially when we just start, because we know we're not that good. We just started. And I don't know. I think for myself too, like my art journey was a bit odd. I've mentioned before that I started when I was 22. I was on a submarine, believe it or not. And for the first 4 years, I wasn't drawing every day. I probably drew every month. You know, I kind of just sketched in my sketchbook, and I put it in my little bunk or whatever. And I every so often I'll draw into it, making some trash art. That was all. It was actually bad. I think I was terrible for 4 months, or for like 4 years anyway. And I remember, like, I think for 2 years, I don't think I've ever asked anyone if it, like, hey, does this look good? Because like the answer is no. I know the answer is no. And if they said yes, I would know it came from a place of consideration for my feelings, right? But I remember, like, to my now wife, but then girlfriend, I was like 2.5 years into it. I sketched a picture of her when I was underway, and I thought I was cooking. Like, I just spent like 4 hours on it. I didn't draw faces or anything like that up until that point, and like I spent so long drawing her face, and it was in my sketchbook. I felt like it was heat. I came back and I showed her, and she was like, "Oh, who's this supposed to be?" In that moment, I've never felt so vulnerable and hurt, and it wasn't her at all, and it wasn't me either. But I think that there was something that happened there where it's like I truly enjoyed, and I felt so proud of my self-expression there for someone else, and it got destroyed in a minute. Like, with one sentence, I felt annihilated. It was an awful feeling. Of course, I had to let it go over time. It wasn't anyone's fault, but it was a lesson there for me, where drawing for others is not what self-expression is meant to be. If you are able to do it and people are able to pay you for it, or they appreciate the gift, or if it's exactly what they wanted, that's amazing. That's like a really good thing that you're able to do. But I think that the more eyes that are put onto your art, the more the things that they say or that they perceive from what you're doing hurts a lot. And it might not even be intentional. It's just you're being this is a very vulnerable activity, and it's not meant for the eyes of strangers. Even for eyes of loved ones, it's not made for them. It's made for you. It's made for the universe. It's made for other people like you. And other people like you, there are not many people. Like, if you zoom out in the world, like I would probably say like it's probably less than 30% of people would understand what you're trying to do. You know, when you draw a messy sketch, or you draw a fully fledged render, or you draw a character, like only so many people in the world are gonna understand what you meant by what you did. And it's not about the skill that you did, or the composition, or the color choice, or whatever. It's the creative spirit does not sit in everybody in the same way it sits in you. And when you share accidentally with people who don't get it, you're it's gonna hurt a lot. Going back to my first point, you know, I understand that we live in a age of numbers and statistics and analysis. You know, when you post a video, when you post a short, when you post on a forum, like, you know, ideally you would expect a lot of positive reception, ideally, unless you're on the Kanye West route of things. And, you know, it's when you've posted online, it's pretty rough. It feels like you've already kind of lost the fight, right? Because if you get a lot of notoriety, now you're open to a lot of criticism that is not really warranted, unless you're drawing someone crazy, which don't do that. Or you post and you get no reception, and now you feel like you're worthless. It's a lose-lose, you know. And in that happenstance that you post, you get a lot of reception, and like 80% is positive, that 20% is going to destroy you. Every mild perceived jab towards you and your art is going to feel like a knife in your heart. It's going to feel terrible. So it leaves us with a strange paradox of we create to cry out to the world that we exist, and then what we get in return is not always what we want. Rarely is what we want, you know? So I just want to express how frustrating it is to have to go through that every single time you make something. It's, do you want to share? If so, where? And are you willing to accept the consequences? And I don't really think there's an answer. I don't think there's the right way to do it. But I do know that, especially in the online art space, like, you know, we see trends all the time. You know, every week, every couple weeks, it's a new animation trend. It's a new, you know, are you an artist? Show me your sketchbook. You know, like, post your last drawing right now. And then we feel like, oh my gosh, this is our chance. Like, we have to jump on this now. I gotta get this audio. I gotta get this sketch made in this style or in this animation format. And I gotta post before it's too late. Before people forget that I exist. Before people think that I'm bad. Before people realize I'm insecure about what I do. It's hard. It's really hard to deal with that. But if we post and there's no one looking at what we do, that feels awful too. You know, I just want to have a dialogue of my inner thoughts personally, and yeah, it sounds crazy, like, but it's true. I know it's true. I know a lot of you feel this way, and I feel this way too, and I just want to remind you and affirm that you're not alone. You're not alone in a way where you want to be recognized, but you don't want people to see you. You know, and there are spaces out there that are very, very niche and specific that will adore you for what you're doing. Not for what you're making, but what you're doing with yourself. You're expressing yourself. And only some people, there's very few people that can really see that and celebrate what that really means. You know, and I just want to encourage you to, like, hey, every community isn't a good community. Every friend base, every fandom, they're not all, most of them aren't really healthy. And if it means you can only really share in, like, with spaces between 10 to 20 people, then do that. I just want to express my concern and my hope that you find those spaces, because I think that posting into the void expecting strangers to respond, it might not be what you want. It's what we're told that we need, but it's not what we need. There has to be some type of consideration of what you're doing. So I want you to succeed. I want you to make your vision. I want you to make your dream. I want you to be able to look back on years of your art and see the improvement you're looking for. And those dreams can get dashed so quickly by one comment, by 10 comments, by 100 comments compared to the thousands that support you. It's those tiny little jabs that get you. So, I think for some people, not being public at all and posting in very like specific client spaces, people who are in an active in real life friend group, people who cultivate their community very with uh, a fine tooth comb. Sorry, what I'm trying to say. I think that's absolutely vital to your growth as an artist, and I encourage you to take it seriously. Like, you should take yourself seriously enough to not get hurt. And not that your friends and family and those are close to you cannot hurt you, but it will hurt a lot less than hundreds of people misinterpreting your video or your trend or your shipping and being annihilated, never picking up the pencil again. I want to see what you can do, and there's so much inspiration and vision inside of you, and you gotta protect that. You gotta protect yourself, especially if you're younger. Even if you're older, really everybody, I guess. It's not easy to be public with your art. Sharing your art is really important, but done wrong, it can be a very gut-wrenching experience. So if you're feeling those feelings, if that you don't know which way to go, it's because we all feel like that. And I hope that at least in this space that I've created, that you can find some type of, celebration there. And if not mine, I hope you can find someone else's. But be careful what you share with others. But at the same time, you need to be brave too, and be open to getting hurt. And hopefully, once you find that middle ground, you'll have a better sense of where you should be putting your art. I think you're doing amazing. You're consistent. You're improving. You will get to what you like, where you're trying to go. You will accomplish your dreams. And every scribble on the paper, every line you draw, every stroke of the pencil, you will make it eventually. Please keep going. Don't stop. We're all watching you. And you have so much to share with the world. We want to share so much with you.